Good morning, people. Stone Live here, live from the Northeast region, specifically New York. Right now, I'm in the Bronx, and just pulling up on this cold, crispy day. Everybody, like I said before yesterday, everybody's bracing for the storm that may or may not come at this point. There seems to be conflicting views with various news reporting media as to exactly the depth of the storm, the size of it, what we're expected to get in terms of precipitation. So right now everybody's on edge, and I find it strange, but also seems to be concurrent with the nature of the world right now, where nobody kind of knows what's going on. There was a time when you can readily depend on the news as it relates to the weather, if nothing else. The weather, in my opinion, is the only thing that can't be tainted. It's the only thing that you really can't kind of you know um, poison or contaminate with these ideas of misconstruing the elements. You know what I'm saying? It's either it's going to storm or it's not. The clouds are moving or they're not. We don't have to kind of place a bet on that. It is what it is when it comes to the weather. Everything else that's going on that can be kind of controlled by the human element. Well, that's something different. When it comes to the weather, nobody controls that but God itself. So let's kind of see what happens with that. I'm going to go with the idea that we're going to be inundated with buckets of snow. So I'm going to go ahead now and get my provisions. Get my candles. Get some of those things that if the lights go out, literally, Stoney's going to be able to, come through it. Go get me some couple of cans of sardines, some tuna fish, things of that nature, some granola. And, if I got to go with that, just in case, I can't turn the stove on, I'll get some of that Crisco oil so I can have, like, I can manufacture my own little stove top, between that and soda cans and things of this nature. And really try to come through it. And I'm gonna tell you, they got a lot of those prepping courses on social media. And that's one thing I can say. If nothing else, they got a lot of that on there. These survival guides. They even got the books available where you can get you a book and you can go through it. I got one of those old Boy Scout books. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, they have everything in there. Get you one of them old Boy Scout books. I'm telling you, it takes you into nature for real. You know, they don't have you going out there cutting pine branches off and boiling those for tea. Yeah, pine branch tea. Yeah, I mean, it will take everything out of you. It may even pull COVID out. I'm telling you. So that's something that you can do to prepare. Even on the days when the sun is shining, you always got to kind of prepare for a rainy day. So it's in your best interest, in my opinion, especially with the nature of things now, to start putting yourself in that space for those who have embraced the reality of what's happening, who have embraced you know the realism that has now infected the world, the events that have begun to matriculate everywhere, and also with the notion that sooner or later, it will hit home. So, this is where we're at. I know in California, their homelessness is it's out the roof. I mean, literally, you're walking outside, stepping over people. This is right on your doorstep. And as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be it's coming to a theater near you. It's even in Manhattan. I mean, on the train, it's crazy. You got a lot of the homeless down there. And we've always had that in New York City, but now it's astronomical. It's exponentially, grown to the point where if you don't have the stomach for it, you know, um, jump on a Long Island Railroad. And I don't even know what the situation with that is because I haven't been on trains in a while, specifically the Long Island Railroad. But I don't know. So I don't, they may be affected too. So, being prepared is putting yourself in a position where you can win, so to speak. You can survive, and survival really is not just about being the fittest, but it's about being prepared. You can be fit all you want, but if you're not prepared, you're not gonna make it. You'll get swallowed up. So we have to start preparing ourselves with the reality of what can happen. And really and truly, it could happen, with Mother Nature, it can happen at any time anyway. We've kind of taken that for granted. Anytime she gets ready, she can hiccup and, there'll be an explosion. And it can happen. So, but outside of that, everything else out here is moving along, from the mandates to the civil unrest across the world. We had an officer who was shot not too far from me over in one of the hospitals. I think it was Jacoby Hospital. A man came in, and for whatever reason, the moment was proved to be too much for him mentally, and he started, showering individuals with bullets. Showering the space with bullets. He's snapped, and he's not the only one. This is something also that I believe will be becoming more commonplace. Will be coming to a theater near you. People are breaking. What about those people who, put it all on the line for their job? Against their, better judgment. They say, you know what? I got bills, I got this, I got kids, I got all these responsibilities, I got debt. I can't afford not to take the jab and lose my job. So they take the jab, like I said, against their better judgment. And now, a couple of months later, there's mandates, or the mandates are suspended, So now they're sitting there saying, wow, I done went out there and took the jab, and now, come to find out, I didn't really, I didn't have to, you know. They suspended the mandates, Now my health is messed up. I'm in pain. I'm undergoing, therapy for my leg that's been swollen or inflamed. This is not fair. And now you have people like that who may explode. So the explosion can, like a volcano, can erupt at any time, and it could come from anywhere. So this is why you always, right now, is key that you stay alert and stay ready. As they say in the military, stay alert and stay ready. And always, keep the blinders off, keep the eyes open. And if you can tap into the ones that are in the back of your head, keep those open, because you're gonna need it right now. And that's just the way it is. I would also advise you now to start looking into your escape plans. What happens when it jumps off? Where's the nearest water source at? Where's the nearest fresh water source at? What happens if they poison the water? What do we do? So go ahead now, start getting your water. And people, let's not forget what happened in Flint. And in many cases where there was a war going on, whether knoweth or unbeknoweth, the waters become poison. They poison the waters. So now you have to think about that. So I've already started collecting water. I got my water collected. I don't have as much as I probably should have, but I've started stocking the water. And like I said before, the canned goods. So that's something that you have to take into consideration. This is serious. Nothing lasts forever. And right now, with this thing that has been going on since our ancestors came over here, mine and yours included, it's come to an end. or is coming to an end. And when things come to an end, usually it creates a volatile situation, volatile mind states, because most people, who aren't really aware of the circumstance, it's hard for them to answer, to understand. So, but, I'm here to tell you that the situation that started 250 years ago, post Columbus, is coming to an end here. That doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, but what it does mean is it's the end of that world. It's the end of that world as you knew it, as your mother knew it, as your maybe your grandparents knew it, and it's the beginning of a new world for, let's say, our children, our grandchildren, if we're lucky enough to have any. So, and this is what has to be deemed sacred, and this is what we have to protect. So, it's a wonderful life, and it could be wonderful, but it's also a life that comes with volatile change. It's a life that sometimes comes with casualties. It's a life that more often than not comes with death. But that's a part of it. That's part of the process of it. So it's funny. I wrote a book, speaking about death and destruction. One of the books that I haven't finished it, but it's a book called Volcano. It really is centers around a character. He's like a superhero. I'm trying my hand at this type of genre. It's not easy, but it's centered around the idea of the volcano, being the inception of all creation. And really, that's not just a theory of mine. This has been speculated by scientists. No, this is real. This is that everything that's living, you know, everything that's in the volcano is inside of you in terms of minerals, elements, cells. Everything came from that volcano. Even ideas about life, with regard to, let's say, nuclear bombs, you know, nuclear fission. All that comes from the idea or from the essence of volcanoes. Even the explosions of volcanoes and eruptions are nuclear in essence. So anyway, this particular individual that's born from this volcano, and his name is Volcano. You know, um, he goes through this thing where his mother died because they lived by one of the volcanoes that erupted, and his mother died as a result of getting caught up in the eruption. Molten lava. The lava swallowed up the town. And him, having reservations or having grief, or and resentment even towards the volcano, wanted to kind of charge the volcano with this crime. And so he more or less throws himself into the realm of the volcano, into the world, into the circumference of it, until finally the volcano reacts, you know and essentially, through the destruction that was created from the volcano, there was a life in another world that came as a result. And I mean, really, that's my point. I mean, that's just the essence of the book. He does go on, this character, to transform the world as volcanoes have done. You know, as volcanoes, who spewed the rocks, the igneous, the sedimentary, the metamorphic rocks, which now turned into soil, which now gave fruit and nourishment to the earth, where now you have, trees spawning. All that comes from the volcano. So through the destruction, through the rapture, through the grief, through, the destruction of the volcano, you have, the beauty of it that is spawned as a result. So, through this thing that we're going through now, through this radical change for some people, with the idea that their world is now being thrown into chaos, and for a lot of people it is. This molten lava in the form of, let's say, radical change and ideas, the COVID-19, the Omicron, all these things which have this kind of, molten lava feel to it, because it's burning, it's causing grief and mayhem, but when the dust clears, what will we have if we're lucky enough to be around? When the dust clears, if we kind of, understand that, we're going to have to go through some things in life. We're going to have to experience some eruptions, of a volcanic magnitude, in order to appreciate the beauty that extends from that and that comes out of that eruption. We can use it as a model and a paradigm to build upon. Same way we built all of these nuclear bombs from the idea of a volcanic eruption. The same way we took all of those minerals that are spewed and spawned from the volcano and turned it into devices that were, helpful to mankind. Because once you think about it, everything that is us, everything that we drive, everything that we eat, everything that we build comes from that volcano. So that's a part of it. When the book comes out, I'll make sure you people are the first ones to know about it. But outside of that, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, cold, frigid day on this Thursday. But in spite of it, Mother Nature is always good. Until next time, talk to you later.